I empathize with the consumers. I empathize with Nigerians. It's a difficult time. It's a difficult moment we are all going through. But believe you me, it's a short-term challenge we all have to pass through before we start to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
In other words, you're optimistic?
Very, very.
Is it true that foreign investors are unwilling to invest in the power sector?
Well, when I hear that, again, I always wonder where it's coming from. We partnered with KEPCO, that's Korean Electric Power Corporation, to be able to do what we're doing. Korea is not Nigerian. So when I hear such comments, I wonder what they're talking about. Money loves money. Money is global. Money wants to go where it can make more money. Nigeria is the destination point. Like I said earlier, 5,000 is not good enough. We need to move ahead. And that creates an opportunity for investors wherever. All that needs to happen is an enabling environment to be provided for that money to come in. All these temporary problems we're faced with is based more on the fact that, well, oil prices moved against us as a nation. Once we are able to overcome that, I can see that government and the people are all going to work together to make this country greater and better.
You know, now that you're in the power plant PLC, could you tell us, because many didn't understand it, why is it that we build thermal power plants far away from where they could access gas?
Well, the reason for, there are several reasons for citing businesses. Fundamentals that we all learned in school, nearness to raw material, nearness to customer, you know, nearness to this, nearness to that. Egmi was cited where it is today because of the following factors. One, a thermal plant needs water for the purposes of cooling, emission, evacuation of waste, and the rest of them. So that location is ideal. Now, the customer, 40% of electricity that is available in this country in terms of output, this is where it's consumed, it's Lagos. Everything is in Lagos. So invariably, nearness to customer works there. Now, you don't equally want to have the challenge of transmission losses as well. If it's too far apart, you have a challenge of losing part of the power you've produced. So you have the confluence of all these factors in a particular location for the purpose of ensuring that the best and the optimum is derived from the system. Now, you can't argue, and this is equally an eloquent argument, to say that, well, we can put this power plant where the gas is. But then if the customers are way, way, way far off, then there's a crisis. You're going to have a loss. Huge losses on your hand. So,
no, isn't that where you now work with transmission to ensure that you don't have those losses?
No, this is impossible. There will be natural losses because of distance. It's just natural that there will be losses because of distance. Now, the customers are here. The industries are here. We are creating an industrial hub in Egmi as we speak. So, to that extent, we are locking industry to electricity.
So there are no losses?
There are losses, but it's not as significant as it should have been if it were that the customers are way, way, way far off from the power plants.
So what would you recommend? What kind of model, now that it's been privatized, would you also recommend we build more thermal or coal or hydro?
It's a mix of everything. At this point in time, it's a mix of everything. We need everything. Yes, I concur to the fact that renewable is the way to go in the future, but when you look at the cost of renewable against the conventional power system we run, renewable is far, far more expensive. But in terms of rural areas, new areas, yes, we probably will start to think of renewable energy. But for now, we need all forms of generating electricity we can find in the world. With all forms.
With all of that, what about the transmission?
Yeah, what is happening transmission-wise? For the very first time in recent times, government is focusing aggressively on transmission. I know that the budget for power is predicated more on transmission than any other thing because that's the only area government controls anyway. We see a quantum leap in terms of the investment government wants to make in transmission. And part of what some of us in the system are advocating as well is for us to support that transmission initiative as well on our own, such that if we have an arrangement, a scheme of arrangement, whereby we'll be able to recover our investment if it's acceptable to the government as well as the relevant agencies, it's something that we urgently want to do because we need to rapidly move up the electricity we're deploying to the people.
You know, the Lagosians will not forgive us if we don't ask you this before you leave, and it has to do with metering. You should also be concerned that most homes require meter. What are you doing to making sure that homes and places in Lagos are metered?
Metering is something that is beneficial not just to the consumers, it's actually beneficial to us, the power producers as well, because you want to be able to appropriately measure what you've given out and be able to quantify whether what you're receiving is similar to what you've given out to the system. So there is a need for us to aggressively meter. However, note that metering is a major investment in the power sector. Albeit in Ikeja, what we're doing is that we've promised that we'll be doing 20,000 meters per month.
20,000?
Per month. At the end of the year, we hope to have done, that's projected about 171,000 customers will be metered at the end of this year, all things being equal. That's aggressive, I can tell you, but I know that government wants to see that happen. We want to see it happen. The customers want to see it happen. So we are all together.
So is it happening?
It's
now?
happening as we speak. It's happening as we speak now.
Is it 20,000 per month?
Per month.
All right, then. Finally, would you suggest that government privatizes transmission, or they should just leave it as it is?
Well, we live in an experimental society. As far as I'm concerned, I think we are still experimenting the relationship of Manitoba and government. So far, so good. We're seeing positive results. They're bringing value to the table. But again, ultimately, the vision I have is one whereby the entire system will be private sector driven, because that way you can truly measure what goes in and what comes out, and people can be held accountable, and ultimately efficiency will be engendered in the system.
All right, then Mr. Kola Adeshina is the chairman of EGMI Power PLC. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you very much.
Well, we will be back. We'll still have more matters on the same sector. Don't go away.